centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, and I'll be with you here for the next hour to answer your computer questions, help you out with your technology issues. Looking for your calls, actually, this morning. 402-558-1110 is the number you can call locally to get on the program. Or if you're not in the Omaha metro area, 888-250-2091. 888-250-2091. Quick program note. Compute This airs Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 o'clock. So if you want to call in and get a shot at that $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, you want to do it between the hours of 7 and 8 a.m. You can call when you hear the show in your local community, but I won't be here. Feel free to call me. I just want to answer. Like my high school dates, just won't answer. All right. So, guys, last week on the program, we had a great show lined up. You can pick it up on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. Click on radio show there and you can listen to all the previous weeks. But, last week, probably one of the most responded to segments in my email inbox that I've done in a long time on Compute This was about the digital breadcrumbs that we leave in our wake whenever we do anything. And I don't just mean on your computer. I mean every time you use a credit card or a debit card. That was one of the questions I got in email. So you say, Thor, debit cards or credit cards leave a trail of everything you do. What about debit cards? Well, they're run through the same Visa, MasterCard network, so it's the same breadcrumbs. And this all stemmed from the article about the U.S. government basically purchasing your data from third-party data vendors. So they buy a little bit of data here, a little bit of data there. They put the two bits of data together. Of course, each individual bit is anonymized, but if you put the two bits together, you can get enough identifying information to figure out who the person is. Then you can add more information and more information from other brokers until you have a pretty complete picture of where this person goes, who this person talks to, what this person eats, where this person shops, what this person's online habits are. You pretty much get a complete picture of all of it. And the government doesn't need a warrant to do it, apparently. But it's the same stuff they would normally have to get a warrant to learn. So it's kind of a challenging situation where, you can't really stop people from selling data that they've accumulated, even if it is technically data about you. You can't stop them from doing that. So the only thing that you can do to defend yourself is to reduce the number of data points that you're dropping along the way. Some people got frustrated when they emailed in and said, how am I supposed to do this? I'm supposed to use cash, but some places don't take bills over 50 or even 20 anymore. I'm supposed to, use checks, but most places won't take out of town checks. What do you do? And I guess the whole point of that segment was reducing the number of breadcrumbs, guys. You don't have to get to zero. If you can, great. Good luck, but you can't. But if you can, great. But you don't need to use your MasterCard to buy your coffee in the morning. It's like, that's just one more data point. The guy really likes his scooters, So I wanted to make sure I clarified that a little bit, because I know I got some emails from people who were like, how can I do this? And, we talked about from the digital perspective, things like making sure if you are concerned about the data points you're leaving, you should be using a VPN on your technology that masks your identity, your location. You should be using privacy-focused internet browsers, things like Firefox or the Brave browser or even the Duck browser. Duck doesn't do anything. Doesn't say passwords. Doesn't. I think it does bookmarks. I think that's about it. You should be running antivirus software. You should be running a program like Secure Updater to get your third-party updates. There's lots of different things that you should be doing to make sure that you're leaving as few breadcrumbs along the trail as possible. Some people are going to do more than others. Some people are more concerned than others about it. And, none of this data is important. No individual bit of data that is collected about you by any of these third-party firms is important. They're not collecting your prescriptions, for example, but they will know what pharmacy you go to get them. They're not collecting your medical records, but they'll know when you pay your medical bills and who you're paying them to. So you can see how there's a fine line here between, we can learn a lot without actually having to, jump in with a warrant and everything. So the best thing to do, wherever you can, wherever it makes sense in your life, just reduce the number of breadcrumbs that you're leaving along the way. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Coming up on the program this week, guys, we have each service center except for Papillion. I mentioned last week that our Gallant laptops, this is our high-end laptop, we have an unfortunate mid-catalog change of product. It's unfortunate for us because we printed like 5,000 catalogs that have the old specs in them. It's fortunate for you because the price isn't going up and you're getting a more powerful laptop. Why are we doing this? Well, Asus came out with a new line of VivoBooks and they are more powerful. And it doesn't make sense for us to sell you last year's line of VivoBooks in 2023. So we're going to sell you the 2023 VivoBooks in 2023. For those of you who don't realize, all of Schrock's solid-state laptops are constructed from Asus VivoBooks. We start with the Asus VivoBook unibody with the motherboard and everything in there, and then from there we modify. If you go out to the Mart, for example, you can buy the same VivoBook, the same model, and take it home, and you can set it down next to a Schrock solid-state laptop, and the solid-state laptop is going to blow the wheels off the one you buy at the Mart. And the reason is because we've upgraded the hard drive to a faster NVMe hard drive. We've upgraded the memory to the fastest memory the motherboard will support. Asus doesn't give you the fastest memory the board will support when you buy it. We've also updated the board's firmware to be completely current so that any kind of issues, security problems, anything like that is all patched and ready to go when it goes out the door into your hands. The privacy options, as we were just talking about breadcrumbs, we set all the privacy options to do not share on anything. If you choose to share something, you can choose to share it. But it's not our position or it's not our place to tell Microsoft that you're willing to share all this data about your computer and how you use it with them. If you choose out of the benevolence of your heart to share that with Microsoft, God bless you. But it's not our place to choose. So with our solid-state laptops, the Gallant laptop, each of the service centers has one of the old ones left. And when I say old, I mean the ones we were selling last week. Okay. So it's not old like, there's a rickety wheel on this one over here. You want a half off or something. That they're $100 off. So it's $100 off of the regular price for the early 2023 model line as we're replacing them with the new 2023 model line that's coming out. So there's three service centers have one unit left each. So Des Moines has one, Lincoln has one, and Omaha has one in stock. Everybody else is out. So Papillion is out. If you're in Papillion and you decide you want one, give us a call, come on in, purchase, and then we can transfer from one of the other shops and get it over for you. Not a problem at all. But it's an easy way for you to save $100 off a new laptop that you may have been planning to purchase anyway for back to school, for example. Couple neat things. The early 2023 model Gallant, while it does have a slightly slower processor than the new model Gallant that's coming out, one of the upswings to it is it has an internal backup drive, whereas the new one does not have room for that. So we have to give you an external backup drive with the new one. So there's a couple, it's a trade-off, but they're both great laptops and you can save $100. If you're planning on buying one anyway, this could be a great opportunity to do that over at any of our locations, except Papillion, which then you could just call us and then we'll transfer it and everything will be right with the world. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. As we do every week, we'll be giving away a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Also coming up on the program, how do you know if your Sophos is working? We get this question a lot. For those of you who are not Schrock customers who are listening, Sophos is the antivirus product that we sell at Schrock exclusively. Why? Because it is phenomenal. It is the same caliber of protection that a Fortune 500 company would expect from an antivirus suite. And we're delivering it to you, the residential consumer. Even if you go out and get Sophos Home, that is a different level of protection than the Sophos Intercept X that we're delivering, intended for corporations. The threats that are out there are just off the charts right now. So one of the questions that we get literally daily in the service center, how do I know if my Sophos is working? We've all been conditioned to look and see when our last update was or when our last scan was. Well, when you take a look at Sophos, it could be a month before either one of those things has happened. Well, is this piece of junk doing anything for me? Well, we're going to tell you exactly how you know if it's working coming up here on the program. Also, this week, Apple released iOS 16.5.1. That 0.1 just means your battery's been trash on your iPhone this week, right? So we're going to tell you what's in the update, why you need to get it. It's okay to get. If you can't stick with us, it's fine to get it. You should do it. Do it quick. but we're going to tell you about the 2 active vulnerabilities that update is patching. Also, the most common words that are used in passwords. Now, this is a neat twist. We always get the most common password 123 exclamation point. I'm tricky. Yeah, we always get those stories. But no, this is the most common words that are used within people's passwords. So if I'm writing a piece of software to brute force hack your password, these are the most common word combinations I'm going to try first. The most common names, the most common colors. So yeah, I'm going to read you a list of words, and I want you to sit back and listen and see if any of those words happen to be in your password. And if they are in your password, you might want to change it to something that doesn't have English words in it. Just saying. 402-558-1110. Going to take our first break of the program here. When we come back, Rex, your call is coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the special section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now, Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier. So take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Wow, bringing the spicy bumps today. All right, everybody's awake now. Welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. For better or for worse, it's usually better. It's usually better over at Schrock because a lot of people don't realize a lot of the things that we do every day, absolutely free. For example, do you have old computer garbage in your house? Keyboards, mice, printers, old computers, old laptops. Just haven't been sure, old cell phones, old tablets. You just haven't been sure how to get rid of them before because you want to make sure that they don't fall into the wrong hands, that they get securely wiped before they're recycled. Well, we do that at Schrock, and we do it for free. You just drop the stuff off anytime at any of our 4 locations. We take care of recycling it for you. We make sure that your data gets erased inside the service center. Then we send all of your equipment to a local company called Sadoff Recycling. Sadoff also does data destruction on it. So they will go through a second time and make sure everything is cleaned up. So it's almost like a double verification that everything is wiped and cleaned before it gets recycled properly. It's not going to end up on a shoreline in Africa somewhere. It's proper. The only thing we charge for on recycling, if you have a monitor, we have to charge for those because we get charged for them. They're more expensive to get rid of. The second thing is all-in-ones are technically considered a monitor. It's kind of weird. They consider them a monitor even though there's a computer built in. But a laptop is not a monitor, you see? See? It's weird, right? Those are just the rules. I don't make up the rules. That's just how it works. But those are $19 a piece. Second thing, let's say you have one of those wonderful preventative maintenance checkup certificates, or maybe your computer needs that maintenance checkup, or maybe you need something fixed on it and you don't have the time or maybe even the desire to bring it into a service center. Well, if you're within 30 miles of a Schrock Innovations location, any of our 4 locations, we'll come to you and pick it up for free. We'll bring it back to the shop, we will fix it, and then bring it back to you again for free and drop it off. Now, technically, the drop-offs are supposed to be like the FedEx guy, like, ding dong, here's your package, have a great day. But what we have learned over the years of doing this is when we say ding dong and hand someone a tower and walk away, they inevitably put the speaker cord in the wrong hole, or they can't figure out how to hook up the monitor. So the guys have just learned it's just a lot more efficient for everybody if we just come on in, if you want us to, and hook everything back up for you and just make sure that your internet works. Make sure that you can get on your email, make sure your monitor is good and your speakers have sound before we head out again. So that's just a couple of the things that we do at Schrock Innovations every day, absolutely free, just like this radio show. And just like this radio show that's being streamed live right now at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Want to welcome everybody in Schrockville that's listening over there today. Thank you for the audio check, Winston. I appreciate it. Roger's with us. Aaron and Mitch are here. Mary, Richard, Bill. Good to have you guys all with us here. But right now we're going to jump into those phones, 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Rex, welcome to the program. What have you got for me on Compute This today?
Well, I was interested in a 3D patio design package. I didn't know if you were aware of any good and inexpensive ones.
I've used the free one on the Lowe's website. When it comes to 3D patio design stuff or 3D design in general, whether it's a patio or a room, there are tons of different applications out there, and there are lots of them actually on websites that are little apps that you run on a website. Now, the reason that these are on a website is because, of course, they're run by places that sell patio furniture and things. So they're saying, okay, you're going to plan your patio, then you'll buy all your stuff from us. So if you're looking for a freebie, that's where I would go. I'd look for an online, furniture planner, something along those lines, or online room planner. That's probably the best way to do it. Because your patio is basically a room. You're just going to define it as a certain size, and then you're going to put a couch-like thing on it. You're going to put a couple chair-like things on it. And you're going to put a stove-like thing on it, maybe a carpet-like thing on it somewhere, and then, and some stain. That's the paint in the room. So that's what I would use, Rex, if I was going to do it. I wouldn't go buy any special program for it.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Hey, no sweat. Have a great afternoon and good luck with that deck. Decks are stupid expensive. I'll tell you more about this during the aftershock that we do after the show because it doesn't fit the program here. But please remind me if I forget. I had to pull up 30 feet of deck board because we had one rotten spot, like one spot where two boards met where it's kind of soggy. And, of course, I had to pull up the entire 30-foot run on a 15-year-old deck. And so you have to dig the screw heads out with a screwdriver, and then you have to scrape out the heads. Use the little square head screws. You had to take another screw and scrape all the old stain and dirt and everything out so you could get your bit down in the hole. Then you could rip the screw out. And, of course, I chose to do it at 12:30 in the afternoon on a 95-degree day because, I'm a super smart computer guy. I don't do decks, okay? One time we had another deck priced, and it was like $30,000 for a deck. I'm like, honey, how much is an in-ground pool? Let's just do that. And she laughed at me. I'm like, well, we priced it out like a couple decades ago, didn't we? I mean, was it like a $30,000 back then? She says, yeah, try $100,000 now for an in-ground pool. I'm like, okay, we don't need an in-ground pool. I don't even like to swim that much. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. So how do you know if your Sophos antivirus is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing? You pay for the subscription every year. You've got a Mac, you've got a PC, you've got a laptop, you've got a MacBook, whatever your computer is. How do you know if Sophos is working? Okay, number one, you're paying us for a subscription. So if your subscription stops working, if there's something wrong with your software, we monitor for that. So let me give you an example. Last week, there were 29 customers across 4,000 plus subscribers that had some kind of an issue with their Sophos that required us to contact them. Now, sometimes the issue is really simple, like your Sophos is out of date. It just means you're on vacation and you haven't turned your computer on in 2 weeks. Well, we get an alert that your Sophos is out of date. So we send you a message or Amy gives you a phone call and says, hey, just wanted to make sure everything was okay with your computer. Your Sophos is out of date. Sometimes we get a note that Sophos is broken, like something attacked your computer and maybe damaged part of Sophos and it's not working properly. Well, we get an alert about that too. And then we call you and then we schedule a complimentary Schrock Desk session where we remote in and we fix the problem for you. So number one, if you have Sophos, from Schrock, you don't have to worry, because if it stops working, we actually have a methodology in place to contact you before you have an issue, and then we resolve it for you for free. Number two, how do you know, just for your own peace of mind, that your Sophos is working? Well, number one, you have to make sure it's running, right? We see this a lot on people who buy new phones. People who buy new phones, they'll use like the Apple Transfer or the Samsung Transfer tool, and it moves all your apps over. So you'll see that Sophos is installed on the phone, but Sophos is not activated on your phone because we have to scan a QR code when you get a new device. We have to set it up on your device. Remember when you first got it, you had to have us set it up on your device? It doesn't migrate automatically when you do the migration tool. So a lot of times we see people who buy new phones, who have subscriptions, who are not fully protected because they haven't brought their phone back in yet. And, not so much we can do about that. You got to bring the phone back in so that you got a new computer. It's the same thing as getting a new computer, and you chose not to bring it in for us to put the Sophos on it, because you just transferred it somehow. It's like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. It's not fine. It doesn't work that way. It's a subscription tied to that device, and we monitor that device to make sure that it's protected properly. So we see this a lot on phones and tablets and things like that, more often than computers. But number one thing is to make sure it's running. So on your PC, if you look in the lower right-hand corner by your clock, you're going to notice a little Sophos icon down there. It's going to look like a shield, basically. It's going to look like a blue shield with the letter S in the middle. Very convenient for Schrock, but it stands for Sophos. So that's not to be confused with the Secure Updater shield, which is a different shield with a U in it, okay? This is the S shield. So when you have your S shield down there on your PC, it's running, you're good to go. If you have any little marks on it, exclamation mark, yellow X, red X, something like that, that means there's a problem with your subscription. 9 times out of 10, that's because your credit card expired, and we tried to contact you several times about your used car warranty expiring. Yeah, just like they did, we got stuck in the spam pile, and you never heard the messages. So we do our best. We email, we call, we do everything we can to make sure that we get a hold of you when your subscription expires. But if it expires, we even grace you 30 days. Like maybe you were out of town, maybe somebody's sick in the family, maybe you had something going on. We don't want you to end up with a virus on top of it. So we even give you an extra 30 days before we nix your subscription, before we turn off your security. But at some point, we do actually have to turn it off. And when we do turn it off, we can turn it back on within 90 days. Otherwise, we have to see the computer to reinstall everything. And it's the same thing all over again. So long story short, if you're on a PC, that's how you see if it's running. If you're on a Mac, look in the top right corner of your screen where your notification icons are. You're going to see that same Sophos. It's going to be black and white on your computer, but it's going to be a shield with the letter S in the middle. That's your Sophos. That's running on your Mac. If you don't see that shield up there on your Mac, you're not running Sophos, and you need to be. You really do. Macs get infected just as often, if not more often, than PCs. Why is that? Because Mac users don't run antivirus, so they don't even know when they're infected. As long as the virus stays low key, you'll never even know it's on your computer. It's doing whatever it wants to do. So that's the easiest way to do it. Number 2, last thing on Sophos. If you're running Sophos, Sophos is an artificial intelligence-based detection tool. It does not exclusively rely on a definition list. It has a definition list that it does update from time to time, but the way that modern viruses work have rendered pretty much all definition-based antivirus obsolete. That's why we're so down on Norton and McAfee and what's that, Total Care IT or whatever they sell at the mart. It's all definition-based. So in other words, somebody gets infected, we see the virus, we send an inoculation for that virus, and now no one else gets infected. And then the next hour or the next few minutes, the virus maker just changes the virus a little bit, and it doesn't match the definition anymore, and we have to go through the process all over again. So if somebody has to constantly be getting infected for everyone else to be protected, is not everybody constantly getting infected and nobody getting protected? That's how definition antivirus works right now. That's why we don't sell it at Schrock, because it does not work. The free stuff you get from your internet service provider, that's to keep the riffraff off their network, not your computer. So Sophos uses artificial intelligence to detect virus-like behaviors. If the computer, if it looks like a virus, if it quacks like a virus, it's probably a virus, okay? it detects that. So it doesn't need a daily or hourly or every 3-hour definition update in order to keep you safe, because it's seen a ransomware infection. It knows how it works. If gee whiz, if you're a human being, we assume you're a human being running this computer, not one of the little green men. But if you're a human being running a computer and you're opening 15,000 files a second, editing them and saving them, might you not be a ransomware infection? Magic. We can create some logic-based rules here for an artificial intelligence to follow. So it works really well. It doesn't need the definitions to do its job, to make sure that you stay safe. So it doesn't need as many updates, and consequently, because we're scanning behavior of your computer in real time, we don't have to run file scans nearly as often. We do a file scan from time to time, about once a month, once every 2 months, just to keep everybody honest. And honestly, customers like to see, they've been conditioned to see that a virus scan has been done. Some people want us to kick off a scan. They'll call it like, I haven't scanned in 2 weeks. We kick off a remote scan. They're like, oh, it's scanning right now. We're like, yeah, we know we did that. You didn't need it, but it's going to scan. It's going to scan your whole computer, and then it'll be done. Because we're scanning behaviors in real time. We don't have to go look through all your files. We don't have to know what's there. We don't have to dig through it. If something comes up out of those files and tries to do something nefarious, we're gonna get it. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. We're going to take our next break here, guys. When we come back, Apple just released iOS 16.5.1. So we're going to tell you why your battery is running like garbage, what you need to do about it, and what this update even included for your phone and your tablet and your Mac, everything. All coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all computer-related equipment like printers, keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back in. You're listening to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we fix them, we build them, we recover data that you lost on them. If it touches a computer, we touch it at Schrock Innovations. And I have to tell you, you guys, I complained a lot when labor was really tight. And, all we had to do was raise what we're paying our people 30%, and now we can get all the labor we need. Funny how that works. But, it got to the point where if you're a service company and you make your bread and butter is service, you can't deliver service with no people. So we raised the rates and we got some good people. And I have to tell you, as much as I complained about being short-staffed, I want to take a moment to make sure that I'm thankful for the people that we have now. The stuff that, it's cliche to say it, and I know not everyone listening is a religious person, but God works in mysterious ways, man. Like some of these people and the skills that are coming together at Schrock right now, they're literally defining the next generation of what we're going to do as a company and the things that we're going to be able to do. Now, I'd love to tell you it's some George Soros-like plan that I've, pinky finger in the mouth, masterminded. But no, all I've done is set the stage, and then the talent came to the table, and recognizing that talent and now doing stuff with it. So we're going to talk a little bit during the After Schrock today about some of the crazy things that are happening at Schrock and some of the cool things that we want to do in the coming months. So that's not really primetime stuff, so I'm not going to do that during the program. But if you want to listen to the After Schrock, it's a little show that we do right after this program. Give me like 5 or 6 minutes to reset and get everything set up again. But then we pop on Facebook and we do it. And if you don't do the Book of Faces, that's okay. When it's all done, we post it the next day on Rumble, as well as you can watch the video on Facebook if you miss it, but we post it on Rumble as well. We don't post the After Schrocks on YouTube anymore because, well, we sometimes say some controversial things during the After Schrock. You see that YouTube, we got some strikes. We got to be careful. Got to be careful with the tube. But also, we're going to talk to you about this Russia thing, because I love how all the networks are covering it now like it's breaking news today, 2 days after it actually happened. But if you were on my Twitter feed 2 days ago, you saw the dude with the APCs driving behind him, and this guy's job is apparently to sweep the street. And he's just sweeping the street, doing his job. APCs are rolling past him like, that's another day in Russia. It's like, So we'll talk about all that during the After Schrock, right after the program here on Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Now, one of the things that is a little bit more computer related that happened this week is Apple released another security update. I believe this is the second one in a 30-day period. This is a very minor security revision. It's 16.5.1. So they added the 0.1 on the end. Why did they release this? There are 2 active vulnerabilities that are allowing bad people to do bad things with your Apple devices. Remember how I said that your Apple devices can get hacked? Yeah, these vulnerabilities allow bad guys to take complete control of your iPhone, your iPad, or your MacBook. So not only did iOS get an update, but also macOS got an update as well to patch this. Also, watchOS got an update to patch it as well. So all Apple devices, if you own an Apple device, you have an update, as long as it's a current Apple device. If you have an ancient Apple device, you have no update because you don't get no update. No update for you. No soup for you, old Apple user. You got to be a new cool Apple user. Those new iMacs do look pretty neat, though. I have to tell you, they look pretty nice. So 16.5.1 is going to patch those 2 security vulnerabilities. If you're an Apple user, you definitely need to get that patch installed. The sooner the better if you've been putting it off because you're waiting to hear if it's got problems or anything like that. This is a very minor update. No problems have been reported, aside from all the normal problems that happen whenever Apple issues an update. My wife, for example, yesterday, grumble, grumble, grumble. Got to go find a charger, grumble, grumble, grumble. Why does Apple, my battery every time? So what happens when Apple does an update? I don't know what they do that's different than Android, guys. I don't, because my phone doesn't have this problem. And I always joke with my wife when her phone's dying, like, would you like to use my superior technology? my Samsung phone. You need some power? Let me turn it over and turn on wireless power share so I can charge your phone through my phone. I can mouth to mouth resuscitate your iPhone from my Android. There you go. See, I had to get my dig in. Everybody thinks I hate Apple, but I got to feed the beast a little bit, okay? So she gets grumpy about it because whenever Apple does an update, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. With a major update, this is totally understandable because there are apps that have to be updated to be compatible with the new version of the operating system. There are all kinds of optimizations that have to happen in the background. All this stuff takes time, takes internet connection, it takes bandwidth. And of course, it's going to take battery. So Apple users will always notice after an update, your iPads, your iPhones, the battery is not going to last as long for 24 to 48 hours. And then after that, it should return back to normal again. So what can you do to offset this? Number one, when you install the update, I try to install these updates right before I go to bed. So I'm not using the phone. The update can install, and I put the phone on the charger and I leave it there. And this gives the phone overnight time on a Wi-Fi, so it can update everything it needs to update without killing my data plan. It can update everything it needs to update with all the power it needs to do its updating and optimizing and apping and everything else. And then the next day I can take it off the charger again and hope that everything is done. There's no way to know. Apple doesn't give you a progress bar. This is one of the things that is in the culture of Apple. They don't tell you when something is done. They tell you when you've executed it. So, for example, if you're copying files to an external hard drive on a Mac, you don't always know that all the files have copied. There's a progress bar under the file in the window somewhere, but there's not like a general like, hey, the files are all copied. There are ways you can get around that, of course. But what I'm saying is, for the average user, when you're using a Mac product, the emphasis is on the appearance of performance, not necessarily performance. So we want to make it look good, even if it's not done. And so sometimes that means that your phone is doing things behind the scenes that you have no idea. It's updating things. It's doing things. You're not getting notifications or things popping off about it. You probably don't want the notifications, honestly. And that's why Apple doesn't give them to you. They're probably like, who wants to know every time a stupid app updates on your phone? I mean, I get updates on my thing, and sometimes I get too many notifications on my phone. But anyway, if you have not installed the iOS 16.5.1, it's something that you should do as soon as possible. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. You can get yourself qualified to win a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Charlie, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Good morning, Thor. We bought a laptop about 3-4 weeks ago out at the store from Parker.
Awesome.
I just really enjoyed getting that machine, and my fingers in that laptop keyboard do not necessarily be compatible.
You said your fingers are not compatible with the keyboard?
Right. What do you mean? What do you have for external keyboards and mouse, maybe?
Gotcha. So we have a full-size. The one that we carry in stock is a Logitech. It's a full-size keyboard and mouse, so it's just like what you would use on a desktop computer. And it's got a tiny little nub that you just plug into the USB port on the side of the laptop. You kind of forget it's there even. And then you have a fully functional keyboard and mouse that you can use with the laptop.
Okay, well, that's what I have on the desktop at home, so I know what to do with it. So.
Yep. You could even use that one if you wanted to move the little nub over. Just don't lose the nub, because the little USB, it's called a dongle is the actual name of it. So like when I say don't lose your dongle, don't play with your dongle, you'll lose it. It's like that's what I mean. If you can move it from computer to computer, but we see this a lot when customers are upgrading computers. And, I look down in the recycle pile and I see their old computer down there, and I see like 3 wireless dongles hanging in the back of it. And I'm thinking, oh man, they got their new computer home and they're like, nothing works. Why doesn't anything? Then I call them because we know who they are. And I'm like, hey, I've got all your dongles here. And they're like, oh, what did you call me? I'm like, no. All the little USB things for your mouse and keyboard. And they're like, oh, no, I bought a new one with my new computer. We don't need those. I'm like, oh, well, okay. So, yeah, you can move your dongle around if you want to, but don't lose it, because if you lose your dongle, they're very difficult to replace.
Okay, thanks a lot.
No problem, Charlie. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you joining us on the program today. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Quick update on Drive Advisor. For those of you who aren't aware of what Drive Advisor is a free program that we make at Schrock Innovations. Doesn't cost you anything. We don't collect. We're not collecting information to form an advertising profile for you. We're not selling your information to anybody, ever giving it, trading it, nothing. It all stays with Schrock. But Drive Advisor monitors the health of your hard drive and then simply sends you an email automatically if your hard drive starts to fail. You see, most hard drive failures happen slowly. Very few of them are sudden, unless there's an event. Like, we had a guy that brought a computer into the Papillion Service Center, and he's like, I don't know why it stopped working. And apparently he had driven across country on a motorcycle, and he had his laptop in what he thought was a watertight backpack. Well, we opened it up, and yeah, there's some corrosion in here. Like, it's almost as if the water got through the watertight backpack and right into the laptop. That's no good. That's why it won't turn on. Hard drives, unless something like that happens, hard drives do not fail suddenly most of the time. Now, their failure can appear sudden to you, because you had no warning it was coming. But the signs were there the whole time. The hard drive was screaming at the computer, help, I'm dying, I'm having problems. But the computer was programmed by HP, by Dell, by Asus, by everybody to not pass that message on to you, the user. Why? Because every one of these computers, they're warranted for a year from the manufacturer. If we can get you through that year, we don't have to replace the hard drive. And you can have a hard drive that was bad the day you got it on day one and have it be in a failure state for a year in some cases before it gets so bad that the computer won't boot anymore. Drive Advisor detects that hard drive, tells you it's going bad so that we can clone it onto a stable drive before you lose your data, before you end up paying $1,200 in the data recovery lab. That's what Drive Advisor does. It's there to save you money. Now, Drive Advisor was first constructed in 2016 and released in 2017. So it's got 6 years under its belt right now. In that 6-year period, the average number of hard drives it has scanned, if you take all the hard drives it's scanned and all the ones that it's found that are bad, average them out, 15% of your hard drives are bad right now and you don't even know it. This could be your external hard drive. This could be your backup drive. That's a heck of a time to find out that your backup drive is bad. You know, when your main hard drive fails and you realize your backup drive is bad too and has been bad for a long time. Yeah, it's bad. So it's bad. So Drive Advisor scans all that, but there are some newer drives that Drive Advisor wasn't able to detect properly. So sometimes Drive Advisor would say, you don't have any hard drives in your computer, which is obviously stupid because hard drives, Drive Advisor is running off the hard drive. It's obviously in there. So Josh in the Papillion Service Center has sat down and been working on the code for Drive Advisor. He's completely re-engineered the code. So not only is it more efficient than it was before, not only is it faster than it was before, but now it detects all the drives that it didn't detect before. And I saw the demo of this in the service center just this week. It was phenomenal. It's running super well. There's some integration, some tie-in things we have to do with the internets and everything. Once that's done, then we got to work on the user interface. Do we want to change it? Do we want to keep it the same? How do we want to do that? And then we can release it to you so that you can check it out on your computer as well. So if you already have Drive Advisor installed on your computer, you don't have to do anything. You're going to get an automatic update when Drive Advisor is available, and we'll push it out to your computer and you'll get it, and it'll just be there. If you do not have Drive Advisor, you can get it for free at driveadvisor.com. Drive Advisor, because it's made in America. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Greg, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Thanks for taking my call.
No sweat.
You're talking earlier about the Sophos. I've been a subscriber for many years, but in my mind, after you mentioned, I started thinking, I don't think I've been debited or no one's called me or anything. How do I look at the computer to know if it's actually installed and working, or I guess I can call you to put it back on, but
right. So
you made me think about it. I'm not sure,
That's okay. No, when you have Sophos on your computer, if you haven't been billed for it, that probably means your subscription has lapsed. Now, when your subscription does lapse, Sophos does not uninstall from your computer. It sits on your computer and it protects you using the definitions that it had the day it expired. All AI functions are terminated, and it's the equivalent to a free online antivirus at that point. It's not very effective. So if you want to check on your subscription status, just give us a call in the service center. We can check that for you. We're working on an interface right now that will allow you to be able to check this. We're working on an app and some other things right now as well, so that you can check this more easily in the future. But just give us a call in one of the service centers, and then we can check your subscription to make sure that your subscription is valid, that your payment method is valid, and that you're getting the service you're supposed to be getting. And if there's anything in that chain of events that's not working properly, we can get it corrected for you right over the phone. We don't have to have you bring the computer in or anything.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, no sweat, Greg. Thank you for your call. I appreciate it. Greg's in the drawing as well for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. We're going to take our final break of the program, guys. When we come back, though, we've all seen the stories about the common passwords, right? Password 123 exclamation point, baby. Ooh, that exclamation point. Maybe I should. What if you do it like Spanish style with an exclamation mark on both ends? Then you're getting spicy, right? Well, everybody knows not to use those basic passwords. Not to use password 123 as a password, okay? But did you know that when people choose passwords, they tend to pick the same English words to put in their password. So if you know the types of words people are going to choose, most likely, to use in their password, you can enter that information into a brute force hacking program to hack people's passwords more efficiently. So I'm going to give you the list of some of the words that are in the most commonly used passwords everywhere. The most common names used, the most common colors used, all the above. And we're going to see if any of you have these words in your password coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut Musket Factory was the first business in North America to use replaceable parts in a firearm. Before Eli's factory, if your musket broke, you had to send it away to an expert gunsmith for repairs, or just toss it and buy a new musket. Technology manufacturing has come a long way since the 18th century, but you wouldn't know it by looking at today's big box store computers. Dell, HP, Sony, and other manufacturers continue to take away your freedom to upgrade and repair your computer by eliminating expansion and repair options. Some desktops are even powered by a tiny laptop adapter. Schrock Innovations believes in Eli Whitney's idea of interchangeable and replaceable components, and that's why our custom-built modular computers last longer and cost less to repair than computers you see at big box stores. Ask your friends and family how often they replace their box store computers, and they'll probably tell you every couple of years. And what do they do with the old machines? They just get thrown out like broken muskets. Imagine a place where your computer's problems can be fixed quickly and inexpensively. Imagine keeping your computer for 6 years or more. You are imagining the kind of computers we build every day at Schrock Innovations. Our modular systems last longer, perform faster, and cost less over the long term than anything you can buy at a big box store. While the talented technicians at Schrock Innovations can't make you a musket even if they tried, our commitment to the freedom offered by modular computers is the modern-day extension of Eli's innovative musket factory. We think Eli Whitney would be proud, and you can take pride in owning a small piece of American innovation, the modular computer from Schrock Innovations. Compute This Pro Tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Opened drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, final segment of the show, but guess what? It doesn't have to end at the top of the hour. You can tune in to the After Schrock, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where we're going to get all Russian coup on you, tell you what happened there, what we think happened there anyway, what I'm hearing happened there from my various places. You know, I was literally, I don't want to, I'll save it for the After Schrock because it was very frustrating that nobody was covering any of this Russian stuff in real time when it was happening, and now it's running wall to wall on every news channel like it's breaking news. And now that it's over, the mainstream media is just dead. It's just so dead. All right, so what about your passwords? Do you have these common words in your password? Now, these passwords, basically what ended up happening was an analysis was done by a company named Dojo. And it says the number and type of characters used in passwords determine how quickly it can be hacked. That's a duh. Passwords with only lowercase letters are popular but vulnerable patterns. So you should have uppercase letters somewhere in your password. Such a password with only 6 characters takes virtually 0 seconds to crack. So if you have a 6-character password, all lowercase, literally there's computers out there that can crack it in less than a second. One with 7 characters takes, 0.12 seconds to crack. And one with 8 characters takes up to 3 seconds to crack. That's assuming they're all lowercase letters. Even spicing up a password with an uppercase letter, a number, or a special character doesn't help much if the password is short or follows a familiar pattern. Passwords with 8 characters that start with an uppercase letter appeared more than 4.5 million times in data breaches. Those that ended with a special character were found more than 3.5 million times. So don't put your punctuation at the end, and don't put your capital letter at the beginning. Got it. Okay. Certain subjects and topics also tend to lead themselves to hackable passwords, Dojo found. Among the themes analyzed by Dojo, nicknames and terms of endearment were used in passwords more than 1 million times. The names of TV show characters popped up more than 455,000 times, while TV show names appeared 365,000 times. Have you ever done that? You're trying to pick out a password and you're leaning back in your chair and you're looking around the room. You're like, I need a word, any word. And then all of a sudden Jeopardy's on and you're like, Trebek. That's my password. Other popular topics found in breach passwords include colors, fashion brands, cities, countries, movies, body parts, big toe 457, and car brands, pet names, swear words, and video game characters. I'm surprised they're not editing for swear words yet, given how much we're nailed on that stuff. All right, drilling down into some of the categories. Here are some of the words that you want to be on the lookout for. Below these words: king, rose, love, boo. Yeah, B-O-O, like boo, like the ghost. Don't use that. Hero. We don't want no heroes. Or angels. We don't want angels. The most popular ones among nicknames and terms of endearment were those were the most popular for terms of endearment. So king, rose, love, boo, hero, and angel. So those are words you want to avoid. Common colors that were used: red, blue, black, gold, and green. So apparently white is never used in a password, okay? Chartreuse was not used. I wonder why nobody used chartreuse in a password. I'm going to learn to spell a nice word today. No pink. Yeah. No, yeah, green is in there. Okay. No aqua. You know, any of these, no Crayola color names were in here, just the primaries. Those who like to use video game characters for their passwords went with choices, and some of these I was like, who? Joel. That's a character from The Last of Us. Qbert with an asterisk. Q*Bert. Yes. And Link, from Legend of Zelda. And of course, you got to have Mario. And then, of course, there was also Ryu from Street Fighter. So if you're using video game characters, that's what you should look for things to avoid. Any other video game characters, they're just fine. You'll be good to go. So here's what you need to do to have a strong password on your computer. Use a combination of lowercase and uppercase letters, numbers, and special characters, more than 8 characters long, 16 ideally. Shoot for long passwords. They say 8 to 12, I said 16. Use multi-factor authentication. Even if you have a password, turn on the multi-factor so it sends you a text to confirm you're you. Change your passwords regularly and use a password manager. I like to use the Firefox built-in one. It links to all my phone, my Firefox browser on my phone. All my passwords are safe. Charlie, congratulations. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Amy will get that out to you here on Monday. And folks, we'll see you for the Aftershock, and if not there, next weekend for another edition of Compute This.